Hey, welcome everybody. Hello Keisha, hello Deanna. I'll be kicking off here in just a moment. Sending out one more little broadcast here and getting something set up, but I'll be starting here.
With all my feeling, before all time, not just a while. You gave my life a different meaning. You made me feel complete again. Dispersed my doubts, my clouded feelings, chased away my darkest pain. Inside I feel my spirit rising, emotions mended by a woman's touch. A new future on my horizon, I'll never think it too much. Through the heartache and the pain, you made my gray skies blue again.
Well, hello, happy Monday to you, June 27th. Here we are. I missed you guys. I took a little week break. Didn't do any PsychCandies last week. Been organizing some new stuff for you guys. I've got some new developments that are going to be taking place coming up here in July. And Marlon, welcome. And welcome. Forgive me if I say this. And Deanna and Keisha. Yeah, PsychCandy is going to be taking a little bit of a shift coming up in July, but hopefully a good one. And I'm actually going to be bringing on a co-host with me, and we're going to switch to having a PsychCandy morning show that I'm going to be doing, again, starting up in July. And so, yeah, I just kind of took last week to do some organization, working on some new articles for you guys and so forth, and just in general. But today, I wanted to come back and I'm going to be sharing with you and kind of talking about conversations that I've had recently. And what is how do we form new chapters? Now, most of us have, most people today anyway, we have something that we're working through in our past. Might be childhood, could be bad relationships, could be, just bad run with jobs. The list could go on. But now, how do we start to migrate away from that? How do we migrate away from the loop cycle, that keeps us kind of stuck in our position? When we start a new chapter, what does that mean? Does it mean we're going to keep going back to the old chapters to we got to keep going back to reference? No. Yeah, you have to. There's got to be a cutoff point. There's a time when you got to you're done. That chapter's done, or that book is done. Start a new one. And when we start a new chapter, that is a blank sheet of paper. Get you a new pen. Get you a pen that writes. You never get those pens, or sometimes you get a certain pen and it just writes so perfect. Usually, whenever that happens to me, I'm out at a restaurant or something, and I'll write with their pen, and I'll be like, "Oh man, this pen's awesome." And usually, if that happens, I'll just ask the servant, "I love this pen. I'll buy the pen from you right now. I want the pen." But when we're writing the chapters of our life, we want to focus on that. And that we're letting go of everything else. We're starting brand new. Brand new. We're not going to keep pulling the old. We're not going to keep dragging the old books behind us. We don't want to keep going back to those old chapters. Now, most of you already know what I do. But for those that don't, I'm a doctor of psychology. I've been doing, my goodness, I've done clinical. I do couples counseling a lot. That's one of my main areas. Is I do couples counseling, I do self-development, I deal with anxiety, depression, all these things. But let me tell you what happens right now, and this kind of relates to me sharing some of the conversations I've had over this past week. And it's and in my area, it's a small area. I live in a smaller area of Georgia, so you end up kind of knowing everybody at some point, but most people know what I do. But I could be sitting anywhere, going out for my afternoon pint or something like that. Somebody will sit down next to me that I may not even know. But then they'll say, "You're a psychologist, right?" And I'll say, "Yeah." And I say, "Well, let me ask you a question." And that's when it starts. I'm in this relationship and blah, 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 blah. Here's the problem. Most, every relationship, every conversation I had about relationships this past week, 100%, 100%, they all had one thing in common. And that one thing was this. It was people going from relationship to relationship to relationship to relationship, no breaks in between, no time to sit and realize like why that last relationship ended, no time to sit with yourself to redevelop, like maybe we're doing something wrong, maybe we're in a bad mindset. There was none of that. Oh, but I'm happy. Oh, I'm so happy. You're forcing the happy. These people are faking happy. They're not happy. They're miserable. We're talking men and women both now. By the way, I'm not singling anybody out. This is just a thing. And I've shared this before too about that society today, how we deal with relationships, friendships, all these things. It's gotten really shallow. It's gotten really shallow. We work on the surface. Men and women alike going out there, jumping on social media, doing their stuff, and becoming so vain. It's all about how I look. It's all about I have to be pretty and I have to have all the clicks on TikTok and Facebook and everybody needs to know my story and all this stuff, you know. I just worked with a couple 3 days ago that it seemed beautiful. It seemed like a good relationship. It wasn't. Why? Because one of them could not let go of the past, could not let go of old people, could not let go of old situations. That's not how you start a new chapter. When you get with somebody brand new, what are you doing? You're starting a new chapter. You can't go and start trying to erase somebody else's name and put the new person in place, and then you're going to continue the same story. That's what people do. I'm just going to edit this one part, but I'll keep the rest. Guys, I'm going to tell you right now. When you operate in that facet, it's going to tank you. It's going to make you constantly build a regression cycle. You're going to stay in this. You might just get above water and come back down again for a minute, and then get back up above water and you come back down again a minute, and you're dragging all the people that you're attaching to with you. Nobody needs that. Nobody wants that. I mean, when it comes down to it, nobody says, "Oh, I would like to have a very miserable relationship." Luis, welcome, man. Happy Monday to you. When we start a new relationship, are we starting it knowing that it's going to fail? But are we starting it and we're dragging that old shit, but we're thinking, it's okay, I can manage this, I got this. They're not going to see all the books I'm carrying. They'll just see this other book, this edited book I'm using. It's not how it works, people. And it is sad. I mean, let's put it this way. I wish that I could say, I'm a couples counselor, and I have like very little business. I got a side job. I'm a night manager at Dollar General otherwise. So yeah, because I just don't have enough couples having problems. Ain't the case. Not the case. It's inundated. I speak to colleagues of mine and just ask them, like, what's your client base like? What do you have the most of? Relationships. Relationship dynamics. See, a lot of people think that, oh, it's, people coming in dealing just with depression on its own or dealing with a childhood. No. It might be dealing with depression, but they're depressed because of the relationship they're in, or they're depressed because they jumped on that train that just never stops. It slows down a little bit for that new person to jump on, but buddy, you keep moving. There's no break. There's no time to stop. You can't form a new chapter. You cannot have, I'm sharing something with you. Now listen. You will never, ever develop a truly impactful, mindful, healthy mind space if you never take pause to understand who you are, where you've come from, and where you're going. Never. It'll never, ever happen. And so we have to get to that place where we have the quiet, you know? Now, I write a lot. I write so many articles. I write articles you guys haven't even heard yet, and you may not, because I just write a lot. But when I write, I don't have 9,000 distractions. I don't have all this stuff going on. I have to get still for a minute. I gotta think. I do my research. I understand what it is, where I'm going. What is my topic? Where am I trying to go to? What's my target right now? And that's exactly the mindset that I'm trying to encourage you to have. No matter what it is, this is not just relationships. It could just be in general of just, I want to be a better me. I want to feel better. I want to look better. I want to sound better. I want to have a better energy. I want to find my happy. That's my target. And with that, you don't need all the past shit. You don't need anybody else's interjection. You need you. You in a quiet, mindful aspect that you can just embrace yourself. Embrace your own mentality. Embrace your own thinking. Understand why you are where you are. If you're unhappy, figure out why you're unhappy. But don't just try to tuck stuff under the rug and then you continue with the relationships because I don't want to be alone. You continue with the relationships because, well, I have to have somebody because I've always had somebody. Well, break the cycle. Do something different for a change. Do something that's going to rattle you, shift you, break you off of that pattern so that you all of a sudden have to get a new pattern. Now, I'm just going to tell you right now, because I'm about to use an example, but I personally, I do not support shock therapy. Now, I know a lot of people swear that some people say that they've gotten something out of it and whatnot. But do you know what shock therapy is? I mean, the whole premise behind shock therapy, it jars the electric currents in your brain and forces your brain to try to remap, like make new connections all of a sudden. Okay, scary premise. But that's kind of what you have to do sometimes when you do a big change. Change is scary, you know. Opening that new door is scary. Doing something you've never done before, that's scary. But what that does is it jars your subconscious in that kind of same way. It jars that subconscious into like, hey, wait, okay, I've got to take in a new feeling right now. I've got to understand a new emotion. I need to understand now. How does Trinity deal with this situation? How does Marwan deal with this situation? How does Luis deal with this situation? Now we got to see, how do we deal with it? Because when we approach that new chapter, when we approach those new things, well, we're all uniquely different, thank God. So therefore we operate on our own level, our own energy, our own understanding, our own emotional being, you know. So we have to have so that we're able to let the old books go. You can't drag the old stuff if you're going to continue to regress. We want to progress. We want to elevate. When it comes to mind, not a trigger. Actually resolve the situation. Show a brighter energy, a more beautiful side to you. Show your creativity, show your love and your compassion and your empathy for yourself first, and then guess what? Other people. It's all too not Now, what just fingered everybody else. I've been guilty. I had a moment. I was going, and whose fault was it? Mine. Oh, shit. Hold on. This old book. So it was just ill thinking of developing. I took out who why choices, and I live those consequences. It's true. Off, you know, premise thing scope of therapy for PTSD, teaching how to form thing from well, are just life that most people really. You got to be on your game now, but that means that you better be on game with yourself first. You better understand what position you're playing, who you are, and what you have, and what you're bringing to the table. And then be confident in that. Take the time. Be mindful. Take time to know you. Take time to understand you. Well, guys, I hope you were able to pull something from this today. And I'm so happy to be back here with you. I will be back here with you tomorrow. This whole week is going to be the normal 11:30 a.m. right here. And but then starting in July, like I said, I'm going to surprise you with it. On Friday, I'll be doing a big announcement, and I've got some special guests coming in on Friday. So, but guys, I hope that your week has started off great. I hope you're relaxed from a beautiful weekend. Here we are in our Monday. Let's make it the best, most brightest, beautiful Monday that it can be. Appreciate all of you. Love your support. Thank you for being here. And until next time, be happy, be healthy.